So what's the mind shift? What happens to an individual during the course of these classes such that they start to see things from a completely different perspective? And instead of sitting there going, oh, here's a good idea, and then what do most people say? What's that? But, yes. And they put it off, somebody has probably already got it, it's done, I don't know how to do it. And so what I learned was how to move through those conversations I had with myself that stopped me from putting that stuff into action and actually deciding, here's the idea, sounds good to me, let's do it. And so it is a mindset. What is it that shifts internally for somebody that prior to that, they wouldn't have those thought processes of how do I create the end result? Just look at the premise of all this work. And the premise is this, that we all talk to ourselves. So how many of you talk to yourself? Raise your hand. And if you didn't raise your hand, a couple of things may have gone on for you right there. You either sat there and went, I ain't raising my hand because he was calling me and I'm not ready to actually talk in front of the room yet. You know, you could have been distracted and doing something else, or you may have actually been standing there or sitting there going, do I talk to myself? Nah, I don't think I do. I'm certainly not talking to myself right now. Personal development does not always have to be heavy and serious and, oh my gosh, I'm going to open up my guts and throw them on the table and all this. Personal development and us learning about ourselves, it is comedy. If you think about it, who are the most popular comedians? In other words, what's the material they typically talk about? Themselves. Or events that we can all relate to, because we can identify with what's going on there, and so we find ourselves laughing. Who actually then are we laughing at? Ourselves. Don't take it all so serious. Open yourselves up to the joy of who you are and how comical we are as human beings, and have a good time with it. Anything during the course of this weekend, however you choose to react to it, suffering is optional. You can either choose to or not choose to. That's totally up to you. Or do I learn and grow from it and be able to see, you know what, I understand what just happened right here. I do this a lot in my life. What do I need to do to shift and change it because it's not working for me? That's all it really comes down to. It is set up from a place of doing series of exercises during the weekend. So in other words, what I love about this work is it's called experiential work. There will be lecture during the course of the weekend. After we've done the lecture, we're then going to do an exercise where you will actually be able to have an opportunity to experience yourself in what we've just talked about. And why is that so powerful? Because I will tell you right up front that your belief systems and what you think you believe and what you think you know can be very different than what is the actual truth. And what you will get to see for yourself is what is the truth based on results. In other words, how do I actually and honestly show up? Not the story I want to create in my head, and this is what is, and this is the way it looks and everything, but what actually just happened right there. So what you get to do is see how you honestly operate in life.